Good morning. J.W. Owen, first in the door. Did you push Billy to the side? Because Billy's right there. I'm teasing. I know you didn't do that. Good morning, guys. Good morning. It looks good so far here. Good morning, Hagee. Good morning, Aaron. It looks good so far today, but it's supposed to start snowing again this evening and all through tomorrow. And so we have it. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Derek. Laura Devine. Good morning, Mr. Marmars. Let's see. Nerds. There's my nerd Steve. RX and HB. Nippy. Good morning. Queenie. There they are. Good morning. Sare Bear. Derek Anderson, as usual. There's my good friend Derek. Good morning, everybody. 21 people, 13 likes. We're already killing the game, guys. Hey, I got a quick question. It's a, let me see, what is the right word? It's a inquiry. I have an inquiry. Don't answer live. Don't answer in the comments section. Okay? But if you've got a little smoke them if you got them for sale. If you happen to be harvested up and you have a little bit of that business for sale, reach out to Pops. I have a guy that is interested in a purchase, and I would like to give you the business. So reach out to me at my email, the Detroit Mush Lab at gmail.com after the program. And if you have a little something, let me know. And I'll try to work out a transaction for you and for a friend. Okay, that was my little public service announcement right there. Okay, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. There's so many people here this morning. Thank you, guys. Joe Dees is reminding us to change our chat filter from top message to all message. Okay? Another little quick public service announcement. If you're looking for tinctures or herbal medicines of different kinds, reach out to HB. HB has started his business going with doing herbal extracts and tinctures of different kinds. So, and we're not talking necessarily psilocybin. We're talking, basic plant medicine ingredients. So if you have an interest in that, I think HB's got a little bit of it. It would work out for you and for HB. Okay? And he did not tell me to say that, by the way. Derek Anderson, there, you even forgot about the old chat option. Okay. So I have a new number that I can see on my screen that isn't just the people that are here participating in the actual talking, but the people that are actually watching, and I think it might be more of an international number. And you shouldn't be surprised to know that we're over 70. Okay? Derek Anderson, do you agree HB has wonderful products and that we should be supporting each other in our cottage industry opportunities, entrepreneurship? Wazzy, are you feeling better? I know you were down yesterday, not feeling the best. I hope you're feeling better, Wazolio. Good morning. Lizzie the Wazzy Wazolo. Now don't forget, if anybody wants to join us here live on Wednesdays for the last half of the show, like we did a couple of weeks ago with Captain Obvious, and we've done in the past. We did it with Wazzy, we did it with HB. If anybody wants to go live for the last half hour of Wednesday's show, there's nothing wrong with that, Wazzy. Clear out the old Longolios and get a reset. And the next time you take a bong load, you might actually feel it. We smoke so much that you don't even feel it anymore. We're just going through the motions. Not so much Pops, because Pops, I stopped completely in June, but then in August, I was tempted by the beautiful gift that was sent to us by Derek Anderson, and I had to dive into one of his little packages and take a couple of hits, and I got stoned for the first time in a while. I forgot what the word stoned means. Don't know. You'll know the difference between a buzz and stoned. It was like, wow. I forgot. I liked it. Okay. Herbie, you got a gift too. I am not surprised. Now that I think about it, I think J.W. Owen. I'm sorry to hear that, J.W. That lobster butter, that's right, that's what it was. Michael Reynolds has been off the pipe for 16 years. Yeah. Billy D. I got stoned and I missed it. Okay, hold on a second. Yeah, let's do it. Hold on one second. Okay. Here we go. Let's turn this baby around. Lerushkinov. Sounds like a German-French guy. Lerushkinov. Do they, Michael? They hair test you. That's so much more accurate than I remember. True story. I remember a time, this is back, I'm gonna say, late 80s, early 90s. And I got a job, it was a really good job, as a manager for a cabinet company. And they hired me on the condition that I passed the drug test. Well, of course, I smoked before the interview. Come on, man. Okay. I guess I did pretty good. They liked me. So they gave me the time and the day to go to the testing lab to take my drug test. Okay. Lerushkinov, I'm guessing by your name. It was just a wild guess. Am I right? So I'm stressing. I know for a fact there's no way in the world I'm going to pass this drug test. There's no way. That's cool. I like your name. Okay. Oh, Cyber, I did. Anyways, back then, do you guys remember head shops? Do we still have head shops? Do you remember what a head shop was? Where you could go and you could buy any pipe you want. I know they have accessory stores still, but back then they called them head shops, where you'd get the posters, the glow-in-the-dark posters, and all of the stuff that the stoners liked. Okay? You still have those? Yeah, I haven't been in a head shop in 100 years. Well, that's not true. I went to one right before I went to my drug test, and I asked the guy behind the counter, "Do you have synthetic urine?" Well, sure enough, we do. And he gives me a bag, plastic bag with synthetic urine, and it had a surgical tube attached to it that would, I forget how long, and a little strap where you could strap this synthetic urine bag around your thigh and then feed the surgical tube through to the zipper area in your pants. Okay? So they give me the old vial, the thing, and I'm just praying that they don't watch, like literally penis into the penis pore. I'm hoping that, they at least give me some privacy before I go into the, and sure enough, it was a one stall. They just, okay, go in that bathroom over there and come out with your urine cup. And I'm in there and I take out that surgical tube and I'm pouring up. I think you pumped, I forget exactly how it worked, but I did it. I put synthetic urine, pumped it in there, but I'm looking, I was looking around like, yeah, I'm just peeing here. But literally, I'm filling up my cup with the synthetic urine. Don't think I'm proud of myself right now. I'm not. I'm telling you kids not to do this. Okay? And then the whole time I'm stressing, but this particular place gave you insta results. It was like they took a strip after you bring the urine out. Okay? After you bring it out, they test it immediately so you can bring your results right back to your employer. So Pop's got the job. I'm confessing. The confession is very good for the soul. Okay, he said I was pregnant. Oh, sir, sir, you passed the test, but when's the baby due? Oh, that's good. Have we, nerdy? We've all tried the synthetic. It's gonna be a boy. Oh, that was a good one, Herbs. Oh, I got the job. So I never had to do that again. Okay. Oh, Derek Anderson, the flush pills. I wouldn't trust a flush pill. No way. So anyways, from then on, just in case there was going to be a rando test, I kept a spare kit of synthetic urine. I forget where, somewhere in the garage or something, just in case I had to go to get called in and, we got to send you to a drug test. Okay, but let me stop by my house first. Confession is good for the soul. Okay? Sarah, are we all, low down and dirty? I'm not the only one. I'm over here thinking I'm giving you a confession of the soul. And you guys are all like, Pops, you only did it once? That's the crew. What a crew we have. We all dirty. Oh gosh. I'm over here thinking I'm making a big ass confession and you guys are she told me you kept it in the toolbox. Oh, Paige. Good for you. Oh heck yeah. No. There was a big deal in the 80s and the 90s to test. I don't think so much anymore, since mostly it's legal anyways. You know what I mean? Like, employers don't want to lose somebody over that. Unless, I mean, there are certain jobs that you absolutely, a pilot, bus driver, perhaps. Yeah, they should be doing hair testing. Okay? Notorious is, Pops, I've never even once used my own pee. I can't believe you guys. I've been holding that in as like a big secret that I don't want anybody to know that I used synthetic urine once. And you guys are all like, dude. Thank you. Thank you for making me feel better about myself today. Okay? I'm not the only one. Oh, I'm cracking myself up. No, what's really cracking me up is you guys, especially finding out I was pregnant. It's a boy. Oh, you guys, I love you guys. Thank you for cracking me up this morning. Remember yesterday we were talking about spirit animal? Do you remember yesterday? Oh, gosh. Come on, Pops, get it straight. It's time to get serious. All right, let's get serious around here. I'm not telling you to do as I did, okay? Dog pee, no way. No way. Now that is gutsy. Dog pee. Really? Well, I guess they don't test to see which animal it came from. Okay? Nerdies, like, they really did want to hire me, so maybe they just passed me anyways. I don't know. That's a true story, though, because I remember the nerves. Like, just, oh my God, I am going to get caught. Like, they're going to walk in right in the middle and see the surgical tube sticking out of my zipper. Okay? But I got away with it. And I got the job and I performed quite well. I had it was, believe it or not, I'm a pretty decent boss. Okay? I always put your employees first and give them credit. Give all the credit when credit is due. Give credit to the people. Don't take credit for something your staff did. Don't do that. But we're going to talk about leadership here as part of today's program. Okay? And it's probably a bad day to tell you that I was a shyster in the urine situation. So, let's talk about spirit animal. The deer is the one you guys chose for me to cover today. The deer. Think about a deer before I talk about this. Out in the wilderness, out in the forests. Are they alert? Is a deer alert? Don't they have those ears that are like radar dishes or sonar dishes? And they're constantly twitching and moving? And they can hear sounds from everywhere. And they got good sniffers too. But aren't they super alert animals? And don't you get a sense of that they're really sweet? Like all Bambi? Are all deers Bambi? Pretty much. They're either Bambi or Bambi's dad, right? Who cried at the Bambi movie? I did. Now that we've got a little idea, sketchy little guys, they have to be to survive, right? I cried at Bambi. I did. My first Bambi. My mom brings the kids to the movies and all 6 of us are crying. Okay? Bambi versus Godzilla. God, that doesn't sound good at all. Okay? That's quite a lot, JW. 4 to 5 deer every year. Wow, that's quite a lot. I have eaten venison, Derek, and I never liked it. It might have to do with how it was prepared or something. That venison didn't line up with my taste buds that much. I was like, it was. I just didn't think that venison was all that great a thing. I've only had it once because I was like, I'm gonna try it, and I don't have to try it again. But you know what? I probably should remove that bias and try it from somebody that can really cook it well. Okay. Venison is your favorite, really? Interesting. Turkey's my favorite. I love turkey. The deer spirit animal symbolizes gentleness, intuition, and grace, encouraging a balance between soft compassion and inner strength. As a totem, the deer guides individuals to navigate life's obstacles with sensitivity, trust their inner voice, and embrace renewal, often appearing as a reminder to slow down, practice vigilance, and connect with nature. Gentleness and compassion. Deer represent a soft heart and an ability to move through life with grace and kindness. Intuition and vigilance. They symbolize high sensitivity, awareness of one's environment, and the need to trust instincts. Resilience and renewal. This is a neat one you don't think of. The annual shedding of antlers makes the deer a powerful symbol of regeneration, shedding old habits, and personal growth. Balance. They represent the union of masculine and feminine energy, combining protective strength with gentle, nurturing qualities. What is their symbolism in dreams and culture? In dreams, seeing a deer in a dream often suggests a need to be more gentle with oneself, to approach situations with compassion, or to trust your intuitive inner child voice. In Celtic lore, the deer is associated with the deity Cernunnos, representing virility and connection to the forest, while the hinds, which are female deer, are considered fairy cattle. Indigenous traditions. In many traditions, the deer is seen as a protector, a messenger, and a guide for navigating life's path. To connect with the deer spirit, one can spend time in nature, particularly in quiet, serene environments. Can also be reached through meditation, focusing on developing gentleness and kindness and empathy towards oneself and others, reflecting on life cycles, embracing change and personal transformation, similar to the annual growth of antlers. And finally, I like this a lot, active listening. Developing the ability to listen to one's intuition and the subtle, quiet messages of the world. So those of you that said the deer was your spirit animal, you guys got a cool spirit animal. That's a really cool spirit animal. Sir Wellington, no. I'm no. Not the kind of doctor you think. Mycologist and historian, actually, and a theologian, but not a medical doctor. What's the spirit animal we should cover for tomorrow? Give me tomorrow's. Which one do you guys want to hear about for tomorrow? Give me the first animal that I see with three 3 comments with the animal. That'll be who we cover tomorrow. We have a bear, we have a wolf, we have 2 bears. We have 2 wolves. Okay, we have 3 wolves. So wolf for tomorrow. We're gonna do wolf tomorrow. And then it looks like bear for sure. We'll do a bear on Thursday, because there's a lot of bears. Okay, but I saw wolf first with 3 comments. So wolf tomorrow, bears on Thursday, and then we'll figure out what's going to happen on Friday. Give me 5 people that like the spirit animal thing. Give me 5 people that like the spirit animal segment that we are going to do this week. I think it's really cool, and I believe in it. I believe that it's, that certain personalities are like those certain animals, and you're just connected to that animal more so than almost any other animal. I'm digging it. Okay? Turple Nurple kind of likes it too. Mellow's 100% correct. Animals can teach us a lot. If we just quiet, be still, and just notice. Just notice. Excuse me. Dando, that's funny. I'm agreeing with you. Dando, I don't know if you guys noticed, but that's all about Detroit. Lions, Tigers, and Pistons. Those are all our pro teams here, right? The Detroit Lions, the Detroit Tigers, baseball, the Detroit Pistons, basketball. I like that. Okay. Captain Obvious. All right. Let's look at a couple other things real quick. Just 1 or 2. Squirrels can theoretically survive a fall from any height. Theoretically. Can you imagine that? Flying squirrels, no. Just any squirrel. Due to their weight and shape, squirrels can lower their terminal velocity to a survivable degree from practically any height. Yeah! Stretch it out, baby. Terminal velocity. Whose spirit animal is a squirrel? How come nobody said squirrel for a spirit animal? Okay? The pygmy shrew must eat at least every hour, or it can die from starvation. So is that around the clock? Like it's got to wake up? It doesn't even get to sleep? Or is it allowed to sleep? The pygmy shrew. It's got to eat at least. I'm waking up. I've got to set my alarm. I get to sleep for 59 minutes. I got to wake up and eat something. How about this one? How many people have won a goldfish at the county fair or in some situation, especially when you throw the ping pong ball and it bounces all around and it finally lands in one of the glass bowls? They make it almost impossible to get it, but eventually you might get one. I've gotten a goldfish from a county fair. Okay? It was actually the church fiesta that they do every year. Anybody else ever won a goldfish? No? Anybody? Or is that old school? Do they still do that? Do they still do that? Do they still try to rip kids off and take their money and don't give them a goldfish? And do you remember that when you do get the goldfish, it goes home in a plastic bag? They put it in a plastic bag and they knot it up, and you have to go home and you have to find your own bowl to put it in. How about this guy? In 1956, Peter Hand won a goldfish he named Tish at a fair's penny stall. Incredibly, by the time of its death in 1999, all her scales had turned silver. The goldfish lived to be 43 years old. 43! 43! How many different homes did, I mean, how do you, you're taking that, come on Tish, we're moving. 43-year-old goldfish. It's pretty cool. A lot of responsibility though. Who's ever overfed a fish? I have. 43-year-old goldfish. Yeah, Sammy P wants to know, how old is that in goldfish years? Good one. That's a good one. No, I understand that they're actually a carp. I get that. Jesus Christ in Australia knows this. Jesus Christ in Australia knows. Australia, right, was I overfed a fish once. Your mom tells you can only put the food in there once a day. But there were 6 kids. And we all had to get a turn. It was like you're over there just shaking. Okay, Tish, you're not living to 43, pal. Okay? Oh. Yeah, I've overfed a fish. My brother had really neat aquariums growing up. My brother was the keeper of the aquariums. Mm-hmm. Australia has nearly twice as many kangaroos staying off the grid. What we're going to do there, staying off the grid, we're going to delete that comment, okay? Not because I'm taking it personal, because I don't. I actually wonder what it would what would motivate you to say something like that to somebody you don't know and for the first time. But it's not important. If you stick around here long enough, you would choose kindness instead of meanness. I promise, because we like to change here. And we're not going to ask you to leave unless you keep it up. But we don't allow those kind of comments here. Again, not because I take you personally. I don't. I have compassion for you, bro. That's it. I have compassion for you, and you'll work things out. You know, you'll figure out that there's a lot better ways to communicate with people. And choose kindness. Okay? Let's move to the next section of what we're going to talk about today. There you go, Star. That's the right idea. Today's verse in the Dao De Jing that we're going to cover has a lot to do with authoritarianism, authority, leaders. And we look around the world today, and without pointing to anybody, because there's no negativity coming out of here, I think we can all agree that the world suffers from a lack of compassionate leadership. I think we can all agree to that without making political or religious statement out of it. It's not just at the political level, not at just governmental level, but we see it in our everyday lives. I don't know, there should almost like be courses in school that raise kids up and teach them what true leadership looks like and how we can accomplish it, and start developing leaders. And every single one of us has an incredible ability to lead. We really do. You're a leader somewhere in your life, I can guarantee it. Usually in your home, when you're raising children, you're some kind of a leader. And not the male leads female, that's a bunch of crap. Two beautiful leaders in the same home, the male and the female. Matter of fact, I would subscribe to the theory that leadership, you're able to connect with both sides of you're able to connect to both your femininity and your masculinity in order to be the most effective, compassionate leader you can be. Okay? A leader is best known. I'm going to read a couple of quotes to you guys. Quote time, quote time. A leader is best when people barely know he exists. When his work is done, his aim fulfilled, and the people say, we did it ourselves. A leader takes people where they want to go. A great leader takes people where they don't necessarily want to go, but they ought to go. Rosalind Carter said that. Great leaders don't set out to be a leader. They set out to make a difference. It's never about the role. It's always about the goal. The greatest leader is not necessarily the one who does the greatest things. He is the one that gets the people to do the greatest things. Think about these as I read them to you, okay? Think about this working out for you. A good leader leads the people, not from above them, but from within them. The leader, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. The successful leader does not talk down to his people. He lifts them up. Do you guys want a couple more? I got a few more. Do you guys give me 5 people? Would you like to hear a little bit more? Get a few more quotes here. Is this interesting? I love quote days. Pops does his homework. Good, thank you. A true leader is not the one with the most followers, but one who creates the most leaders. Ooh. Ooh. Wear that one. It isn't about how many followers you have. It's how many leaders you can help create. The best leaders inspire others to reach higher. A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. These are full of meat, you guys. They're full of meat. Oh, this one's good. Ooh, wait for this one. A good leader is a person who takes a little more than his share of the blame and a little less share of the credit. Take a little bit more of the blame and a little less of the credit. Love it. A star wants to see himself rise to the top. A leader wants to see those around him rise to the top. Leaders become great, not because of their power, but because of their ability to empower others. A couple more and we'll move to the verse. Colin Powell said this, one of the greatest American generals we've had. The day the soldier stops bringing you their problems is the day you stop leading them. Goosebumps. Goosebumps. A leader listens to the people's problems, doesn't, or he or she. Colin Powell nailed that one. True leadership must be for the benefit of the followers, not to enrich the leader. Not to enrich the leader. You'll start recognizing new leadership, and then those that are grasping for power and money instead. Real leadership is leaders recognizing that they serve the people they lead. So much meat in there. 57th verse of the Dao De Jing. If you want to be a great leader, you must learn to follow the Tao. Stop trying to control. Let go of fixed plans and concepts, and the world will govern itself. How do I know this is so? Because in this world, the greater the restrictions and prohibitions, the more the people are impoverished. The more advanced the weapons of the state, the darker the nation. The more artful and crafty the plan, the stranger the outcome. The more laws that are posted, the more thieves appear. Therefore the sage says, I take no action, and people are reformed. I enjoy peace, and people become honest. I do nothing, and people become rich. If I keep imposing myself on people, if I keep from imposing myself on people, they become themselves. Lao Tzu said that to us 2,500 years ago. His advice is pertinent today, in the 21st century, to all forms of leadership, including government, business, and in particular, parenting. The essential message in this 57th verse is to allow rather than to interfere. Now, I don't interpret this to mean letting an infant, obviously, crawl into traffic or leaving a child alone near a swimming pool. Obviously, you want to be sensible about supervising those who could harm themselves. What I believe Lao Tzu is conveying here is that allowing is quite often the highest form of leadership. he states that more people are impoverished in societies with excessive restrictions and prohibitions. Look around the world today. Those governments that are the more restrictive, look at their people. They're poorer. They're in more of an impoverished state. These are all true. This guy wrote about it 2,500 years ago, and it's so pertinent today. The same can be true in families with commandments that must be obeyed without question. Why? Because I said so. It's the worst answer a parent could ever give a kid. Because I, the leader, and I said so. Because I'm from a position of power. When a child asks you why, you should have a real, honest, sensible, logical reason for the why. Because I'm worried about your safety. Because you haven't reached a maturity that I have. There's so many times that we basically say, don't question my authority and my leadership. The more authoritarian any system is, the more outlaws will appear. You want to hear something different? Thank you, Smitty. You want to hear something totally different? Listen to this. Try this parenting on. On the other hand, when children are encouraged to explore and exercise their inquisitiveness, they're inspired to be their very best with very little regulation. So when you change the way you view the need for rules, family members will tend to make decisions based on what's best, not just for themselves, but for everyone. Here's a perfect example. I know this to be true. See what happens, for instance, if you drop an absolute curfew time for your teenagers. Be home by 11. If you're not home by 11, you know you get grounded for 2 weeks. That was the kind of parents I had. They didn't know any better. My dad actually was the Great Santini. I don't know if you guys remember that movie. I get PTSD just thinking about the movie because it reminds me a great deal of my father and my father's parenting style, which was based on what the world taught him and the culture was back in the 50s, 60s. Just a complete authoritarian. There were 6 kids in the house, and he ruled the house like a dictator. Well, guess what? 2 or 3 of the kids, they get along with the dictator, ruled through fear. And then there's a couple of us that are such rebels that we revolt against that authoritarianism, even as a little kid. And you spend your life in trouble, or sneaking, or lying. In my case, climbing out the window to run off and hang out with somebody. That kind of action was literally forced on you by the leader in your home. Do you recognize that? Do you recognize that that's a possibility? That the way you lead, quote unquote, will cause the people that are you're responsible to lead to take actions that they wouldn't naturally take. And you start forming character, bent character. If you drop the absolute, The Great Santini was Robert Duvall, if I remember correctly, played the part. And he was like a military dad, and he had all these kids, and he raised them like they were little soldiers. If you drop an absolute curfew time for your teenagers, asking them to just be sensible about what time they come home, and to please notify you if it's going to be later than normal, you may find that because you didn't impose yourself on them, they come home earlier than when they had a strict curfew governing their conduct. I just want you to be home at a reasonable time. The child will figure out what's reasonable. If he ends up out there till 1 o'clock the first time around, you gotta sit him down. That wasn't reasonable. Let's work on what reasonable looks like. And coach them accordingly. Cleany says it great. Freedom teaches limits. Examine the restrictions that you enforce in your family. Remember that effective parents don't want to be leaned on. They want to make leaning unnecessary. After all, you want your children to be responsible and healthy, successful, honest. Not simply because you're there to monitor them, but because it's within their nature to do so. You give them the chance to experience their real nature. The same thing that can be said for bosses at work. We've all worked for the jerk boss. Set an example and let them see that it's possible to be self-sufficient and enormously successful. Allow them to learn to trust in their highest nature, rather than having to thumb through a rule book to decide what's right. Change the way you look at edicts and laws and prohibitions. And see yourself as someone who doesn't need to lead with an iron fist. Then enjoy this revised view of leadership abilities in every area of your life, especially when you're considered to be the boss. 2,500 years ago, Lao Tzu was telling us, practice the art of allowing yourself. Begin by letting yourself be more spontaneous and less regimented in your daily life. Take a trip without first planning it. Go where you're instinctively guided to go. Tell the authoritarian part of you to take a break. That part that the world's built into us, that authoritarian, take a break. Allow people to be the very best that they can be. Delegate. And give the people an opportunity to do what they do without micromanaging. Early on, I had a position of leadership in my 20s. And if I look back, I know I was micromanaging. I'd helicopter around them, give them an assignment, but then you're right behind them, tell them, no, don't do it that way. As much as over, but you do it like you're, oh, come on, man. Am I allowing this person to make a mistake and learn from it? Or am I so afraid if they make a mistake, what it's going to look like on me? Yeah, that was how I was. You have to learn to delegate. You have to learn to delegate in your home, in chores. Don't do all of the work at home. Give the children a chore or two. Delegate. Delegating is a lot harder than you think. And I'll tell you why. Because first, before you can delegate something, you have to train somebody. You can't just say, do it, and expect it to be done. Now it's time to be a trainer. So the first job of delegation is training or managing. I should say, the first job of a manager is to train the people. Then you delegate a responsibility. Now comes the leadership. Sit back and let them do the work. Here's what happens up too often with delegation. The manager says, well, I told Joey to do it, and he didn't do it. And he blames Joey to the upper staff. And if I'm on the upper staff, I look at my manager and I said, did you check back at any time during the process while Joey was doing the task and just see how he was doing? A big part is just checking in softly. Now you know what the task is, and are we on board to meet the deadline? And if not, don't forget I'm here to help you. Delegation includes training, assigning, and then following up softly. And then when a mistake is made, didn't it tell us in our leadership quote, take more of the blame? Maybe you didn't train them very well. Maybe you didn't understand that personality and how to communicate to them as well. Maybe it had something to do with you. Remember, delegation's a big responsibility. Tell the authoritarian part of you to take a break. Introduce a different side to yourself and to the world by affirming this. I am free to be myself. I do not have to live by anyone else's rules. And I release the need for laws to regulate my behavior. I know what's right and wrong internally. I don't need a law to tell me. And the more laws that are written, what ends up happening? We have the most litigious society, the most litigious culture in the history of mankind here in the United States of America. We have more laws on the books than any other country that's ever been. Guess what else we have? The largest prison population. Practice the art of allowing others. Catch yourself when you're about to cite a rule as a reason for saying no to a child or someone you supervise. And instead consider the ramifications of saying nothing and just observing. When you change the way you look at your role as a leader, you'll find that very few edicts are necessary for people to conduct the business of their lives. Everyone has a strong sense of what to do and what limits they have and how to actualize their own dreams. So be like the Tao. Allow others and enjoy how your non-authoritarian leadership inspires them to be themselves. The sun has never once told me what to do. Never. Never once told me what to do. But with its warmth basking me, it inspires me every day. So do the Dao now. Make time to do something you've never done before. Barefoot in the rain. Taking a yoga class. Speaking before a group at a Toastmasters club. Playing a game of touch football. Jumping out of an airplane with a parachute. Or anything else you've always wanted to do. Recognize that you've actually created restrictions for yourself that keep you from new and expanding experiences. Find the time now to close your personal rule book and plunge in where you've never wandered before. Also, make time to give those in your charge an opportunity to do the same. Enjoying how much they accomplish with minimal or no action on your part. One second. One more version of that same 57th verse, written by Red Pine. We'll close with that. Let's read it again through a different lens. Use directness to govern a country, and only use deception if you're fighting a war. Use non-action to rule the world. How do we know this works? The greater the prohibitions, the poorer the people. The sharper their tools, the more chaotic the realm. The cleverer their schemes, the more common becomes bizarre. The better their possessions, the more numerous the thieves. Thus does the sage declare, I make no effort, and the people transform themselves. I stay still, and the people correct themselves. I do no work, and the people enrich themselves. I want nothing, and the people simplify themselves. Su Che, an ancient Chinese philosopher, said this about the 57th verse. The ancient sages were kind to strangers and gentle to friends. They didn't think about warfare. Only when they had no choice did they fight. And when they did, they used deception. You'd rather fake the guy out than actually create violence. Sun Tzu talks about it in The Art of War. The true art of war is not about killing the other person. It's about faking them out. It's about thinking you went this way, but you really went that way. And both armies survive. Deception can't be used to rule the world. The world is a mercurial thing. To conquer it is to lose it. Those who embody the Tao do nothing. They don't rule the world. yet the world comes to them. We all have opportunities to lead every day of our lives. What kind of a leader? Yeah, Kimberly, you guys can all hear Ruffy. He is definitely snorting up a show over here. Such a sweet guy. Ruffy's my little dog, for those of you that don't know. I guess I'm his leader. And I allow him just to be himself, don't I? I don't tell Ruffy too much what to do. He doesn't have a lot of rules and restrictions. And you know what? He turns out to be a darn good little guy. He's pretty perfect in my eyes. And then every once in a while he makes a mistake, I instruct him. I don't whip him, I don't beat him. I don't tell him what a terrible thing he is because he made a mistake, because he had an accident. How do you treat your animals? In many cases, better than our own children. Look at that. In many cases, better than our employees. What kind of a leader will you be? What kind of a leader are you? Question that today when you're in a situation and you're called to lead. Is it going to be from a didactic, because I told you so point of view? Or is it going to be from a gentle, let me instruct and let me sit back and watch you make mistakes along the way and grow from them? And understand you don't need a lot of guidance from me. I trust you. The more I trust you, the faster you're going to grow. Is any of this ringing a bell for anybody today? Is any of this ringing a bell? Make it just a little bit of sense. 2,500 years ago we were being taught this. When did they stop teaching it? Huh? When did they stop teaching? Let's get back to it. You know how to perform in your home. You know how to perform on your jobs. You know how to perform in almost every situation. And I trust it. And we'll all figure it out together. I love it. We're dinging up a bell big time over here. Thank you guys for today. A beautiful day. I'm going to end it with the 4 agreements. Be impeccable with your word. A leader is impeccable with his word. He says he's going to do something, he does it. And he uses few words. And he uses them in a kind manner. Drawing the goodness out of you from the goodness within you, within yourself. Being impeccable. That's a model of leadership. Be impeccable. Don't take things personal. Do we have leaders that take things personal today? All around the world. I think we know some. I question that type of leadership. You should be above taking things personal. You should consider that the person that you're taking personal, the fellow that started out our show this morning and had something really creepy and unkind to say. Take him personal, or lead him to reconsider that he didn't need to make those comments and he could still be loved here. Just come on back. We're kind here. We'll all be kind together, but I'm not taking you personal. And give him a chance to look at it and do it a little different next time. Don't have expectations or make assumptions. Don't expect people to mess up. Leaders don't do that. Leaders expect people to rise to their greatest self. Allow that without expectations. You'll be more than surprised. The peaks and the mountains and the tops that they reach, and you thought they could only get to here. And they far surpassed your expectations. And do your best. Today, be the best leader you can be. In every environment you're in today. You see a can on the side of the road, pick it up. A good leader sees litter and he picks it up for the sake of the planet. And don't ever be above the tough job. Don't ever be afraid to take on the harder part. Well, I'm the leader. I've done that one all the time. They should do it too. What kind of an example is that? You have an opportunity every day to be a beautiful, beautiful example and draw people unto you. Not for your sake, but for theirs. That's what leaders do. They empower people to become the greatest them they can be. So get out there and start empowering. I love you guys very, very much. Tomorrow we're going to be doing some bear spirit work. No, wolf. Tomorrow's wolf. And then Thursday's bear. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And in every situation, consider how you're handling it. Okay? You have so much talent and so much skills. Each and every one of you. Use them accordingly. Use them in a way that empowers other people by giving a little bit of yourself. Death Knight, I agree. Don't hesitate to volunteer more. There's so many things we could do. I can't get out of my house. Well, there's helplines you could be a volunteer for. Right? There's so much we can do if we choose to be leaders. Empowering and enriching and building up this world that desperately needs a new leadership. And it starts here, it starts individually, and it starts with each and every one of your actions. Scrolling people out of here. Mellow! Jamaica man. Best leader is the blind leading the dumb, someone say. That's interesting. Jesus Christ in Australia. Great guy. HB. They're showing leadership. HB and Nerds and Derek Anderson. Little leaders growing up among us. They really are. They're out there starting a church and doing kind and generous things, giving stuff away on their show, providing advice, providing guidance on how to grow shrooms. Little leaders growing up right among us. So that's what makes me cry when I think about it. And I have. Well, I have. Anthony, Big Guns Hunt. Good morning, Anthony. Captain Obvious. I love Captain Obvious. Death Knight. It was so nice to see you here this morning and see you join into the conversation. Sammy P. There's my guy, Sammy P. And who else is here? I don't want to miss anybody. Sarah Bear, I love you. Big hug. Smitty, love you too, my friend. Trenty, the Trenty Trenterson. What a great day, right? Jesus Christ, we got that. Herbie Von Wormika Broken Furry Kebab. And Billy D. Bill's getting ready for a Thursday appointment that I wouldn't wish on anybody. But I'm here for you, Bill. You let me know when you need. And you got it. You have my word, my commitment to you. I promise you. Zozo LSD. Death Knight again. And JC. Calico Meow Kitty. You guys don't know behind the scenes what an incredibly generous man. He doesn't put himself out there. So I have to do it. I have to let you know how kind and generous that man is. Greenie. I like that. Carry your ember to those around you today. Even if it's just at home or in a chat. And encourage the flame. Greenie, what are you doing? Are you writing your own Dao De Jing out there? Nursey, good morning. Paige, love you, sweetie. Have a lovely, peaceful day. Sammy P. and Melissa G. Good morning, Melissa. Lovely to see you. Ray Cook, cook 'em up. Laura, have a divine day. You are divine. Waz, there's my Wizzy the Wazzy Wazerton. He's talking about tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Derek Anderson has a program where he's leading people through different scriptures. And you know how Derek leads? Ooh, let me tell you. His voice is a lot softer than Pop's. Okay? He has the softest, most inviting voice to listen to. Go check him out. You'll see exactly what I mean. Okay? HB and Captain Obvious. Kimberly. She leads every day in her classroom situations. We're all leaders. It's amazing. Cyber Jolie, she reached out to me a day or two ago and said, I'm getting an opportunity to start a support group in my building. Leadership. I know she's going to be an amazing leader in that group. Allow the group to flourish. Nippy. She leads Ava every day. I mean, we're leaders. But what kind are we going to be today? Tomorrow takes care of itself. Be the best you can be for the rest of today. Pops, peace, love, leadership, and generosity. Have a wonderful day, my friends. I'll see you here tomorrow. Pops out.